And of course, the most important aspect of this whole scenario is the Pi itself. This is a Raspberry Pi 5 with 4 gigabytes of RAM, which should be plenty for our purposes. Now that we have the card ready, let's start assembling our system. So first, you're going to apply this heatsink. You want to peel off this paper here and make sure that these heat pads stay where they're supposed to stay. There we go. You're going to apply it like this. Make sure you're putting it directly on top of the chips. Give it a nice little press there. There you go. Now inside the case, you will notice an additional sticker. This piece is going to go right here. This is the main contact point on the top of the case. So you want to make sure that you're absorbing and diffracting heat from there. So you're going to peel off that and peel off the other top section. All right, now that's ready. Now these other components inside, we've got this on-off button. We're going to use that. We've got some screws. We're going to use those. We've got some silicone pads. Going to use that. Spacers for open use and the camera module. These are very useful if you want to use the case with the lid off so that you can add things to the top of your Pi. These are great, but we're not going to be using those for our purposes, so I'm going to put that aside. And the camera module, we're not going to be using that either, so I'm going to put that aside. So let's get started, first of all, with the on-off button. That goes right here. You just insert it in there, and you want to make sure you line up this screw hole here. See that? Make sure that's lined up. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and this is the fan controller right here for the Pi. It's got a little lid on it, so you're just going to use your fingernail to pry that out. So that'll make it easier when we plug in the fan in a moment. You're just going to rest your Pi there. Make sure you turn this way so that the ports match up back here. And then you're going to take your fan controller, plug it in. There you go. Now we're going to snap this on. Make sure your cable sort of wraps up there so it doesn't stick out. Boom. Now, take the screws. We're going to make sure the case is on there nice and tight. Great. And now, if you don't want your Pi to slide around on your desk, you can use these handy dandy silicone feet. So now we are going to go ahead and remove this little cover on the case. This is where the micro SD card goes, the one that we just flashed. You put it in like that. Then we're going to go ahead, plug in micro HDMI. Plug in power. Now you're also going to want to go ahead and plug a mouse and a keyboard in on the USB side. And now we're good to go. We're going to plug the HDMI cable into our display. Plug in our Pi. And there we go. Now, the first time it boots, it might take a little while. There you go. Congratulations, your Pi is up and running.